Hi, guys. We are back with Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. We just finished chapters 20 to 33, and we are about to talk about absolutely everything, or as much as we can, that just happened in this section, plus everything that came before that. So, if for some reason you read the middle of this book and not the beginning, weird. Let us know how that was. Um, Jamie, what do you want us to talk about first? Because I could go
Ooh,
off on a million things, but I need you to curb my enthusiasm. This book has been amazing.
I feel like I'm so glad to hear that. I feel like we talk
Loving
about
it.
so many things, and maybe the easiest would be like how are you guys thinking about the trials? Because I know at first when I suggested this book, you didn't want to because we went through another trial type book. How do you guys feel about these trials?
I want to hate them and I don't.
I'm not saying that they aren't giving me off-brand Harry Potter vibes, but the first one with the trap door, and then she pops up on a little square, and I was like, "This is gonna be some wizard chest." I'm so ready for this to be a wizard chest, and it wasn't not wizard chest, but it also wasn't wizard chest.
No, it like had the flavor. I had the same exact response the minute that they were on. I was like, Ron, no! It was great. It was like super cutthroat and totally spooky. And I think that's the difference with these trials for me than with like other books we read that have trials. Like it's very part of the plot. Like it
Mhm.
doesn't feel like it's a convenient plot device. It's more like this house and the trials that are happening within it all are very cohesive. So to me it's not like ugh another trial. It's like oh my god, another trial? Like, I feel like we just did one.
I will say there have been a few of them where I'm like, I don't understand how anyone else is making it through the trials. Like, it doesn't seem intuitive how to get through them. Like, she almost needs Blackwell to be like, and this is what you have to do. And I don't know if that's just a we're looking at it through her POV and she's not figuring it out, or if it's genuinely unbelievable that these other characters are making it through.
I had the same thought where I was like, I want her to be better at this without him, but she's not. And maybe our
She's like,
girl's just not a
oh, I'm in
puzzle
a
person.
cave. Oh, I need to climb up. Like, what else would you be doing?
Also, really, like, the worst part about it is that Kate is so good at them, and I'm just like, why is he the puzzle master? I'm not happy about that.
No, well, and I think it's implied that some other contestants are also getting help. Like at least Lucy is has something going on. So I'm like,
Mm.
are all my contestants at this point getting help? Like, are some of them actually just good at figuring out what's going on? Because like the pendulum thing, you just had to make it across without getting hit by a pendulum. Like, was there anything more to that?
I think just the pendulum and then like the other obstacles that sprouted up as the other
Yeah.
contestants were flipping levers. But no, I think that was it. I think it was just like, yeah, be fast enough. But I think the other thing too is it was the collars. Like everybody else
Hmm.
was on a specific trajectory. Like she could dodge back and
Hmm.
forth, but everyone else sort of had to stay in one line, which probably made it harder. But yeah, Blackwell comes in clutch a lot of the time. Even like I just keep thinking of everybody else going through these like nightmarish scenarios on a regular basis and like never being able to sleep or just like take a minute to themselves. Like our girl would be dead by now.
Definitely.
Like, I think about the other contestants in her group, but then I'm thinking about Genevieve, who to me feels like a worse version of like so that girlie definitely is making a deal with the devil somewhere in her background when she comes back. Um,
Yeah, I personally think that she has like she made a deal with a devil going into Phantasma. That's my assumption. I personally am hoping it's Jasper. Like the third eye gives me like a little bit of like some weird vibes, but he seems nice. Like maybe it's him. And she's getting her own like little devil spa treatment over in her corner.
what's your vibe on the other devil, whatever his name is?
Say,
Sinclair.
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 Yeah, he seems super evil, but like I could be into it. Not for Ophelia, but like
I'm so confused by him because he seems super evil, like, oh, is the bad one that's been watching them. But like I almost feel like it's gonna twist and be like he's been the good devil the whole time. Just
Mm.
because if we're supposed to believe that Blackwell is his friend that got him stuck there, that, like, he was super loyal to, then if they were friends at some point, you don't believe it?
I just don't believe Sinclair. So I don't believe his story because when he's telling us his story, I immediately am like, okay, this definitely doesn't line up with almost any of the theories we've had. So, like, is there a good possibility that we are just super, super wrong about everything? Absolutely. But it just seems so different from like what I view as the very heavy handed clues that we've been getting up until now. So it's like, I take Sinclair's story with many grains of salt in that, like,
That
are you sure that what he's saying is true? I don't
is
know.
so interesting because I heard his story and went, "Wow, this makes so much sense with everything."
I don't want to be wrong, Elena.
So
Me
interesting you
neither.
say that.
Jamie
Which
Especially
gets
one of
when
us,
extreme
Jamie?
knowledge.
Which one is
Blackwell
interesting?
that you
Oh,
don't know whether to believe Sinclair, and then we have
Well,
Blackwell who has like the
because
missing memories.
yeah. So Sinclair's story is essentially just that he was friends with like the Prince of Devils, and then the Prince of Devils fell in love with someone he shouldn't have, aka an angel, aka like what I'm assuming is the reincarnated version of Ophelia. Um, is that not the vibe you've been getting?
I really wasn't sure how to read that story because I think the issue that I have is in figuring out really how Blackwell fits in to like the devil hierarchy. And then this whole thing with Gideon and Ophelia's mom, because that was like one of the big
You
reveals
mean
in
Gabriel.
this.
Gabriel?
Sorry, Gabriel. Do we even have a Gideon in this story?
I don't think so.
Gabriel, I have to remember. Gabriel, obviously, angel. Gabriel. We find out theoretically that Gabriel is Ophelia's dad, which we had sort of
Yeah,
been guessing at. And I think it makes sense, right? Like Gabriel's name being etched into the floor, like it seems like Tessie would have done it when she fell in love with him during the trial. And if we believe the book, the contestant book, Gabriel's name is in there. So I don't think he can be one of the devils. He has to be a contestant. I think he could be our angel character. When they were like, yeah, he's a specter. I'm like, I mean, he could be, but also he could totally not be a specter. And maybe either Gabriel lied about being an angel or um, maybe Blackwell is lying at this point. Not sure. But I think the specter thing is unlikely.
agree.
But so it's like if Gabriel is angel dad
Mhm.
contestant, where does that put Blackwell in terms of like this whole Prince story that we just got from Sinclair? I really don't know.
I feel like my entire like viewing of what's happening relies on the one very specific moment where Ophelia has like an out of body experience where she imagines herself in the manor, like dancing with Blackwell and like fancy clothes with the manor, all like not spooky. And I'm very much moving under the assumption that that's a flashback, like some version of her reincarnated self, like some old version of her was in love with Blackwell. That was like the illegal, not okay relationship was her and Blackwell that he gets punished for by his dad.
That'd be cool.
What do you think, Brooke, about that
At
scene?
this point, I so I wasn't thinking reincarnation was on the table. I'm not saying that I would hate it if it happened because I feel like there's enough of the book left where we could make it make sense. I keep feeling like tiny stuff is happening in this book and not so much time travel, but more time not being understood in a linear sense. So I'm
Hmm.
wondering if it's more something along those lines. And I kept thinking that I thought it was like more of a premonition when she saw that. It was sort of like their end of the story because it seems like he has a hard time, meaning Blackwell, of like keeping track of what's happened before and what is going to happen, and I wonder if his like losing his memories and things fading is that he has a hard time understanding time in a linear sense. But no, I mean, I think that it's definitely possible. I think it's likely that he is the Prince of the Devils. But then why does Sinclair call him the Phantom and like refer to him as a separate entity in the story? And he does say, like, he says that he's not allowed to say certain things about the
Hmm.
prince, so I think that we can make it be that that's why he says it that way. It just, I'm trying to like wrap my brain around all of it and put it into order.
The only thing I haven't been able to like make fit into my pretty little boxes of if reincarnation is possible, and it doesn't have to be reincarnation. It could be like she's an angel, then when you die, you go back to heaven, and then when Gabriel came, he was like, "I want to bring my like angel friend back through this mortal somehow." Like not so like it's the same person. I don't know. Anyway, what I can't figure out is so the Prince of Devils is the one like leading Phantasma. We haven't seen him yet, and you don't get to see him until you go into like the ninth circle. Blackwell seemingly, unless he's like big lying to us, doesn't seem to be that person.
Unless he doesn't remember. Like, unless he
And
can't experience time in a linear manner. And maybe it's like when they get to the ninth circle, he all of a sudden, like, has that clarity, like, oh, that's right, I'm the prince. And, like, maybe whatever is on him lifts. And then he's like, ah, yes, let me do my duty as the prince of the devils. And then, like, is somehow, like, goes back under the spell of Phantasma.
I
That
just
makes sense because in the beginning, he gives her that clue about the heart and the key. And then when they meet again inside Phantasma, he doesn't recall meeting her before then.
yeah, I just thought he like remembered through the end of Phantasma, and day 9 would be before the end of Phantasma. So it's just unless he forgets earlier, then it seemed like he might have.
He keeps saying that he remembers everything within Phantasma, but we learn in this section that he's like, I can't really remember all of it. Like, some of it
Mhm.
has faded. And he also, like, doesn't really remember what happened to Gabriel in his second time doing the contest. He's just like, oh, yeah, he seemed to be losing interest, so I also lost interest. And I'm like, you don't remember what happened with him? Like, that seems very
Being,
strange to me.
yeah, I remember being really confused at that part because he was saying, he doesn't remember other games, but then like he would remember other contestants. But this is like we're still in one game right now. So how would you
Yeah.
remember the other games?
And I mean, at least I am assuming at this point that he is centuries old. Like, this is like Blackwell is an
Hmm.
old dude. So I understand that like you wouldn't remember 200 years ago, like when Phantasma started
Mm.
or whatever. Um, but yeah, it definitely does seem like Blackwell is probably the prince and that he has been cursed to like not be able to leave or not be able to like fully remember what's happening, because to me it seems like we're leading up to the way for him to break out of this is to like fall in love and like, I don't know, find his humanity again or something, and they're all like keeping him from doing that.
Thanks.
I still think it's some sort of like mutiny situation because it feels to me like they're all in on it. Like they all understand who Blackwell is. Blackwell's the only one who doesn't understand who he
Yeah.
is. And is it a
Mm.
situation where like he is the king or was the prince and was running the whole shebang and they just didn't like it and now they've trapped him?
That could be it too. Like if the only people that get to see the prince are like the last contestants in like level 9 or whatever. There could just be you don't get to see the prince because he doesn't remember he's the prince and it's someone else that you end up seeing.
Yeah, and I don't really remember specifically. Is it level 9 that we meet the prince? Because if it is level 9, then it's only the very last contestant. There's
Mhm.
only one contestant that gets to make it to level 9.
I think
So,
it's level 9, yeah.
yeah, there aren't a whole lot of people that can
Who
like come back and tell the story.
do you think Ophelia will make it to level 9?
She has to.
Imagine you get to level 8 and she's just like, "Go for it, Cade."
Well, she only needs to get to level 5, right? To see, because the
7.
home, oh, 7 to see Genevieve.
I think
Yeah.
we made it through 5. Or do we make it through 4?
think it was 4.
Oh, four.
Yeah, limbo, lust, greed, and gluttony.
So we still have 5 more, which is kind of crazy, given that they get harder. Although once again, I'm not really sure how hard they are and just how bad our girl is at figuring out what's going on. Like the bloodlust one. Also, the bloodlust one seemed hard in terms of you have to find a trap door under a bed.
How would you have known that?
It was in the clue.
I feel like, but you have like a short amount of time to read those clues. I feel like I would fail immediately.
Oh yeah. Also, bloodlust is the worst one she could have chosen. Like, bleh.
I don't know what the other ones, like what the other options would have been, other than like lust.
Well, there were like 5. Maybe.
I know.
Oh, did they say what the other ones were?
No, they never did.
Powerless is powerless.
Oh, that's true. Like, yeah.
To lust for power.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the other ones would be. But yeah, I think that the trials have been really unique and interesting. Like I haven't really known what to expect going into them, even with like what their titles are. So I think that they're really cool. I like the spin on the trials.
Me too. Yeah, I like that it was like it still has like that dark, haunting vibe that I always like when I was reading this that I was looking for in a dark fantasy book.
Yeah. And like the mysterious castle is such a great setting with all of its like who knows where this story is going to lead to, and just the twists like are really like I keep finding myself just like I need to know what is going on in this book, which is great.
Yeah.
Is it weird that I picture the castle as like Luigi's Mansion from Mario Kart on the Nintendo?
Yes.
I mean, they has ghosts, so and that was another thing that was scary. The hauntings. Like
yeah,
I mean,
it's awesome. But yeah, there are like a million different directions. Not a million. There are many different directions that this could be going in, honestly. I'm really
do
not...
any of the directions not include her being an angel at the end?
Well, so that, that's like one of the interesting things is I just feel like honestly it was like almost a little heavy-handed, like the number of clues we got in this section about angels and devils. Like even in one of the last sections it was like, oh, the paintings on the ceiling of this ballroom that Sinclair just made for me are like angels and devils, and the romance book that Lucy's reading is about angels and devils and keeps calling her angel. And I just feel like the introduction of, oh, Gabriel was your dad and he was a specter. I'm like, no, either no, he wasn't, no, he was lying, or like there's something else with it. And I just also feel like at this point, if Blackwell was not a devil, I don't know how that would make sense either to me, that he was just a random phantom. Because why are a bunch of devils feeling threatened by a phantom and like allowing the phantom to have any sort of rule in their castle? That would make no sense to me.
He's the most powerful phantom.
Sure. There's no other phantoms. He's never seen another phantom. No one's. Are we sure phantoms exist?
The most powerful ghosts of them all.
Sinclair's interesting though, because I know you specifically asked about that, Jamie, and like if that was the guy that Genevieve possibly ended up with, at this point I wouldn't be upset because he's not like awful enough. It's just he's sort of being now painted as like the convenient like evil devil that we have to work against.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like he's almost portrayed too evil. Like it's almost like hitting you over the head. Like, oh, this guy's the evil one. But then, like, if you believe his story, like let's just take his story at face value, at least for the most part. Sure. Generally, like the like big things that he was like best friends with the guy that got cursed and tried to help him hide previous version of Ophelia, whatever. Then that implies that out of all the devils, he should be the most trustworthy. But then he's portrayed as the least trustworthy.
And is there a world in which he's possibly protecting Blackwell?
Well, and there was something weird about the contracts. Like he's the only one forced to be there. Everyone else volunteered to like mess with him for all of eternity.
Yeah. Well, right, because if Sinclair is telling the truth and he and Blackwell are the only ones
Mhm.
that are forced to be there in camp, but then why wouldn't Sinclair just like is it one of those like she has to come to the realization that she loves him like
It's
in order to break the
always she
spell?
has to figure it out on her own, or the spell isn't broken. God forbid anyone tell her that she's the answer.
So like Sinclair can't just like grab her by the shoulders and be like, "You just have to say you love him."
I mean, and maybe he genuinely like has come to hate Blackwell and like blame him, but it just feels too easy for like him to be evil. Meanwhile, the voice inside her head, still uncertain, but is giving potentially the King of Devils.
Yeah. And that's what I keep going back to too with the voice is like, is the voice a real person or entity that she's been dealing with her whole life because of her parentage? And I think that there's a good chance that that is the case. As far as like parentage goes, though, I also need to bring up the if Tessie and Gabriel like were together in the game, I have to assume that if Ophelia is their daughter, that Ophelia was created in that moment. Where do we get Genevieve like 3 years later? Like, how does that work? To then the point is like, oh, dad's not around or ever mentioned. So I have a hard time believing that Genevieve and Ophelia have the same dad, personally. Like, that, I think that there could definitely be a world in which they don't, because multiple times we've heard of how different the two of them are.
A
But
classic.
but I don't know if that's also where it comes in. Like, is Gabriel actually Ophelia's dad? And it seems like they do have the same powers if we believe Blackwell's account of it. So it would make sense. But where's Genevieve come in?
Yeah, Genevieve, I feel like could go either way. Either they are siblings, and the prologue, what I originally thought was Ophelia, and Jamie said, "Are we sure it's Ophelia?" So if it's not, if it's Tessie and Tessie's the one that was tricked, maybe she gets like a couple of years to live with Gabriel and something happens, and then they could be sisters.
Yeah, I also thought it was very interesting that Gabriel's competing in Phantasma for the second time. Like, and I don't know why that was something that I assumed didn't happen, but like that was an interesting factoid that we got.
Also, if he is an angel, why would he be competing in the first place?
The thing that it immediately made me go back to was why did we take $35,000 out on our mortgage? Like, are these things connected? Like, did Gabriel go into Phantasma to help with whatever Tessie needed? Did Tessie take out the money to help Gabriel? Like, are these things intertwined somehow? Just trying to study Jamie's face and see what might happen as I'm talking.
Such good questions.
Care to chime in, Jamie? Any thoughts?
None.
Head
Head
empty.
empty. Oh man. Oh,
I don't know, do you want to talk about the romance or go on?
do I do I want to talk about the romance? Do I want to talk about the romance? I absolutely want to talk about the romance. I love it and hate it. I hated it very recently. Um,
Go
I
on.
and in the last episode we mentioned that like somehow this does happen over 9 days. So I was like a little more aware of how quickly this is moving, but at the same time, I was only aware of it when Ophelia was like, "Oh no, like this is happening too fast." And I was like, "Oh, you're right, it is." But also ignore that. Stop. Why do you care? I don't care. No one should care here. Um it feels really natural to me, and I think it's because there's just so much going on, and like they are constantly, or at least she is like constantly fighting for her life, and she has those thoughts where she's like, I might not see him again like tomorrow, never mind 6 days from now when Phantasma's over. I love it. I love all of their scenes together except like the last one.
What happened in the last one?
What happened in the last one? One of my favorite quotes used by many of my favorite book boyfriends, the I don't want to just be a distraction. I was like, Ophelia, he doesn't want to just be a distraction. Like,
Interesting. My favorite one was "Who did this to you?" Immediate disappear.
Classic.
goes and punches Cade in the face.
That was one of my favorites.
But it's also weird, like that. I don't want you to just be a distraction from his. It's they've known each other for 4 days, like a
Yeah.
solid 4 days.
But each one of those days has been like a full week at minimum. 4 weeks. They've known each other for 4 weeks.
But like, I just feel like she's being more pragmatic about it, where she's like, at the end of this, like, we're not gonna interact anymore. Like, even if she succeeds, the odd that they like stay in contact is low, but the odds of them succeeding seem low. And then he's gonna be stuck in Phantasma, so unless she follows Phantasma to a different city and like re-enters it to hang out with him more.
She's just a professional Phantasma player, so she can just like hook up with her boyfriend.
Well, honestly, there would be a huge advantage to doing Phantasma more than once, because they say they reuse the same things over and over again. So like you just, and most of them are just, if you run through it, like, and you know what you have to do, you're not super at risk.
I don't want to derail us from the romance conversation because I could talk about these guys for forever. But you saying that just made me go back to, so theoretically Gabriel is doing this for the second time, right? How did he like lose interest? Like, do we take that to mean that if he was doing the same exact challenges over again, like, do they get progressively more like mentally taxing where they're like causing him to be depressed or like not want to continue?
Or it could just mean like he found Tessie and like becomes obsessed with her instead of the game. Which again, super fast. Because like on the floor it says like well, we have to assume it's scratched out Tessie and Gabriel forever. Someone scratches that out, which I wonder who does that. But which actually I didn't think about it until right this moment that someone had to actively scratch her name out.
Yes.
9 days and they're writing Tessie and Gabriel forever on the floor.
9 weeks minimum.
Okay, maybe they should have made it weeks then, because it's technically dates. And honestly, they're trying to fit a lot into a day. Like a solid like hookup session, full trial, hookup session, supposedly eat and sleep, trial.
Minimal eating and sleeping, honestly. Um, yeah, you mentioning her name being scratched out did remind me that I had a thought about that, and my assumption is that she scratched it out because things didn't end well, or like they had a fight, and that was how their relationship ended. Also, when you mentioned like Tessie writing their names in the floor, I've assumed up until now that they met when Gideon, I don't know why I keep calling him Gideon, Gabriel did it the first time and not the second time. Like, I assumed
Interesting.
Gabriel's second time was a solo run because I assumed that then Blackwell would probably know Tessie and he would have said that.
Well, that's what was confusing because
Would he though?
I've been assuming that they met on his second go around. Because either way, Blackwell should have been in it for all of the trials. Like
Right.
he's never meant like, so when he was like, "Oh yeah, like I knew Gabriel," I kept waiting for him to be like, "And I knew your mom." Like, "Oh, I remember your mom was." Never once does anyone address the fact her mom was a contestant or go into any kind of detail about her experience there.
And that's why I assumed that Tessie was there the first time.
No, I don't think so. I mean, but it doesn't really even matter if she was there the first time or the second time. Blackwell should at least have acknowledged being like, "Oh yeah, your mom, like she did okay," or like, "Oh, I don't really remember her," or like, Girly didn't even ask. I feel like it wasn't like, "Oh, do you remember my mom?"
Yeah, that makes
Didn't come
me
up.
think. Yeah, it makes me think even more that like he has a very spotty memory of everything that goes on
Hmm.
inside of Phantasma. Like it's very, very spotty. Huh.
Do you hold that against him?
No. I feel like it's outside forces. Like I really
Hmm.
don't believe at this point that he's making it up or
But he did lie to her about like he intentionally didn't flag Gabriel's name, so he was trying to keep that a secret from her.
he did, but his explanation made sense to me. And like could we figure out later on that he's hiding something else for sure? But that like his explanation checked out where he was like I just got an inkling that he could possibly be your dad because of like your power. And he even says like I just got this weird sense that I knew you. And then he's thinking that it's that connection. But me saying that out loud also makes me think your reincarnation theory would also play in there, where he's like, weird, you feel so familiar. Why dad?
Well, exactly. Like, there's so many things where they're both like, "Oh, I'm so drawn to him." Like, it's so, and it would also just help with the like 9 days thing where they're like, "Oh, I'm falling in love." If like they've already fallen in love and like there is a backstory there, I think that would help my like digestion of it. But
Yeah.
I just feel like that's not a good enough reason. Like, oh, I thought he was your dad, so I figured. And I know he was just waiting to tell her, but like, was he? Do we know that for sure? We don't have any proof that he was actually going to tell her after.
No, just his word. That's it. Oh, Blackwell. Um, one note that I did put down too is that Ophelia mentions that that room that they were in smells just like her mom's perfume, which was like pre us finding out that Tessie was in the contest, but made me think that she might be like more entrenched in Phantasma rather than having just been a contestant once. So many little tidbits and clues and notes, which I love. Love finding all the little things.
I
I'm glad
feel
you're
very
liking
strongly
them.
that she's reincarnated.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that it could definitely, I could see a world in which that was like a really fun twist.
You're just not buying it.
I really hadn't even considered that as an option until now, but I'm trying to like think of how it could make sense in the grand scheme of
Hmm.
things and like it could. I think that in that case, maybe it's not that Gideon is her dad. Like I might in that case believe that I don't know why his name is going to be Gideon for me from now on. Like, why can't he be Gabriel? Is because I'm reading another book with a Gabriel, and my brain's just like, I can't have two at once. It's probably that. Gabriel, Gabriel, the angel Gabriel. I think that if we find out that she has been reincarnated or like keeps reliving this life where she's trying to get together with Blackwell and like break both of them out of this cycle that they're in, I think then we would find out that Gabriel is not her dad, but is Genevieve's dad. And we find out that their powers are similar purely because they're both angels. Like we
Hmm.
that's what we find out. I do keep waiting for there to be like an homage to Ophelia's namesake from Hamlet as well, which I feel like at this point, if I were to spoil anything from Hamlet, I think that's on you because it was written hundreds of years ago. But like the fact that Ophelia commits suicide in Hamlet, like I feel like there
Hmm.
should be something with her name to do with this story. So I keep looking for like the tragic love backstory that Ophelia had with Hamlet in this story. What are you What are you?
That
What
doesn't
is?
fit at all. That doesn't fit at all with the reincarnated thing.
No, it super
It
does, and that's
doesn't.
why like I'm talking
Oh,
myself
you
into
think
it
it
because
does?
I really like it. No, I because I think that
But
if
didn't
if Ophelia was this tragic love that
Mhm.
Sinclair is talking about, if we believe Sinclair, which
Yes.
I have a hard time believing him, but like I'm going down this road with you, Elena. If we believe that Sinclair is telling even a modicum of the
Yes.
truth, and Ophelia and Blackwell were together in like a previous iteration of their lives, or like way
hmm
back, and they're both hundreds of years old, then I could believe that. It just didn't end well. Possibly she died and was reincarnated, or she also lost her memories from what
hmm
happened, and this whole thing is trying to get them back to each other.
Well, and because angels are also immortal, so like,
Yeah.
there's if she is an angel, like, who's to say? Oh, she just started as a baby and has been a secret. Like, I just think it's very possible that like, if he is the prince, which it seems like he is, and he did have a tragic love story, which feels like would fit into everything going on, it would have been Ophelia in some way or another. Whether it was like a past version of her soul or like actually her and she lost her memories. Like, I don't know what the mechanic will be to have had it be her, but
Yeah. I'm so down for a fated mates from reincarnation slash hundreds of years of wanting to be together storyline. Like, absolutely give it to me.
enemies to lovers like can't be together, angel v devil.
Love
Give me
it.
the
Love
novella of their
oh,
first love story.
Oh, yes, please.
I love hearing this.
It's
So
okay.
But
Jamie,
didn't
how
I was gonna say like, but didn't Hamlet not love Ophelia the same way?
We could argue, did he not love her? We could argue, was he too crazy to even
He
consider if
was.
he could
That's what
love?
I mean. I mean, I read Hamlet years ago, but like I could have sworn he was too busy trying to avenge his father's death to see that Ophelia has feelings for him, and so she kind of died as like she was really sad and
Yes.
heartbroken.
Yes. It really was that he didn't pay enough attention to her because he was too distracted by his own need for revenge and his depression and his conspiracy theories against his uncle, for sure. So I'm not thinking that there's like a like super like line for line like callback to it, but I would love there to be like a that sort of like
yeah.
Mm.
requited love, like didn't it didn't end well previously for us, but we're going to like bring it back around and make it work this time.
Aw.
But hear me out. Just imagine in a couple chapters, Blackwell going, I haven't told you something about myself. My first name, Hamlet. Blackwell at your service.
But his name is Blackwell. It's Blackwell.
It's so bad, but I'm trying to remember. Hamlet's first name is Hamlet, right? Is Hamlet's last name Hamlet? I've read the play
Hamlet
3 times and I've seen it performed many times. Can I currently remember what Hamlet's other name is? No.
I'm Googling it.
Yes,
That I will
Google.
allow. That
What
I
is
will
Hamlet's
allow.
other name? Because I was gonna say one of my anthologies is back.
Hamlet doesn't have a last name in the play. He's simply known as Hamlet, Prince of Denmark.
Oh, so I'm not gonna open this and find out. Thank you.
It's probably Hamlet Hamlet.
It's Hamlet. Hamlet. No, it's Hamlet, comma Prince of Denmark.
Oh,
Um, yeah, I don't think that it's going to be like a direct correlation. And I think that I might groan and roll my eyes if he was like, my first initial is H. I'd be like, and we're done.
Can you imagine?
it's a worse name than Sal, whatever.
Well, yeah, I don't want to call him Sal either. I noticed we still haven't said out loud that name, and honestly, I don't want to. So,
I don't, there's no way I pronounce it
It's a
correctly.
long one.
what?
I said it's a long one.
It is a long one.
It's like salamander, but it's not.
Oh, we can start calling him Salamander.
Sally. Yeah, Sally's way better than Sal. Sorry if your name is Sal. I just don't want to call Blackwell Sal after all this time.
So you think that's him?
It seems like it's probable.
To be honest, I'm kind of surprised we haven't gotten a moment from Blackwell yet where he's like, "Oh, I wish I could hear you call me by my real name."
He wouldn't know, and two, even if he did, he doesn't remember.
He has to know his real first. Does he not? We don't think he knows his real first name. He thinks his name is a Blackwell. He said, "You can call
Why?
me Blackwell." I think he knows his name.
Why couldn't
Is
his
that
name just
wrong
be
on my part?
Blackwell?
I did get the sense immediately with the "you can call me Blackwell," but I think that's part of his like memory loss. Is like I think that he does think that that's his name,
Hamlet Blackwell.
Hamlet Blackwell.
Hammy Sally.
Yeah, I do keep trying to figure out like what Blackwell means because there's just no way that it's his name. Like he has to have another name, and it's like, is Blackwell like an ode to like the void
I think
that
it's
they
so
keep
funny
jumping
you guys
into?
are.
It's not his name, Jamie.
It is. What are
No,
the other guys' name? Sinclair? That's a name.
Sinclair. But like
Jasper.
Sinclair's a name. Jasper's a name.
Devin, Dreama.
Devin. Well, Dreama is like the most non-typical name, at least for our culture, that I've heard. But like Devin is a name. Blackwell?
I can't read about Jasper without picturing the vampire from Twilight, though.
Also, yes. The minute he came in, I was like, hello. Where's
I'm like,
Alice?
okay, you look like that guy. I don't ignores all descriptions from here on out.
To be
That guy
fair,
with an eye.
I can't picture Jasper like Jasper in Twilight, because the first time that we met him and they described him with like his top hat and he was like, doing like his busking or calling for like the carnival vibe, I immediately pictured him as Brandon from Panic at the Disco during the I Write Sins Not Tragedies music video, and you can't get that out of my brain. And you know
Never
what?
seen
If
it.
that showed my
I like the
age,
visual.
confirmed because Elena didn't know a single thing that just came out of my mind, then I'm
I
glad
know
that I found
Panic at
people
the
that
I
understood.
know I write
No,
things
you
like I know
don't.
the song. I do know the song.
But do you remember the music video?
No, I've never seen the music video. I do not watch
You
music
know what
videos.
MTV is?
MTV
That's
did not show music videos when I was growing up.
I was gonna say that's even before our time, Jamie. You just talked to a whole other generation.
This showed videos a little bit when I was a kid, but I didn't have cable, so.
Yeah. But that's everyone's homework. Whether you know it or not, go watch the music video for I Write Sins Not Tragedies. It's fantastic. And that is my picture in my brain of Jasper, just with a third eye underneath the top hat.
It's just hiding.
Yeah, it's under there somewhere. Yeah. Um, but yeah, this book has been phenomenal. I've really been enjoying it and am very excited to finish and find out what is going to happen at the end of this book because we are just finishing it. That is, we've only got one more episode coming after this, so all of the answers will be revealed theoretically. And we're gonna talk about all of it. Any final thoughts?
I'm not excited for this next section
Oh no,
Why?
why?
because Genevieve's gonna come back and I hate her.
Yeah.
Like we went a full good section without Genevieve, and now she's gonna come back and be annoying. And I just have already decided no matter what she does, I'm going to dislike her.
I was gonna say, like,
Really?
what if she gets redeemed?
No, doubt.
Instant no.
I think I also said that
Not
about
gonna buy
Kale
it.
in Throne of Glass and took it back,
Oop.
but
I don't know. I don't know what character's name you just said because I didn't really hear it. But when I go back to edit this, I will cut it out if I can hear the character's name.
I said Kale.
Oh,
Still wrong.
TBD on if I cut this. I still stand by the end of this book, I think Genevieve will either make sense and she'll be a character we're interested in, or she'll be dead. Like I think those are our two options. So either way, you will be able to hate her in her afterlife journey, or I think you'll feel better about her by the end of this
Brooke,
book.
is this when I tell you I accidentally saw who book 2's about?
No, it's not, because I don't want anything confirmed for me. And other people probably don't too. But
Yeah.
I will say that personally, I am looking forward to the end of this book for all of the mysteries to be revealed. But I'm also really hoping, because I realized I cut us off when we were talking about the romance, and I just need to say that my hope is that the last scene that we saw, where Ophelia was like, no, we can't do anything together, is the absolute last time that she tries that shit. Because I think that it has to be, but also I hope for my mental sanity and also Blackwell's that she doesn't try to pull that again. But I really do think that there will be a scene coming where she will realize that she does have feelings for him and it's just not deniable anymore, and she will cut that out. Cut it out, Ophelia. Cut it out.
Or she'll be like, I have feelings for him, but it's only been 4 days, so that's stupid.
I hope that she's not so dense that she won't figure out soon. I'm just gonna say that, but now it's gonna be right at the very end that she's going to be like, "Oh my God, the heart is mine. I love you," and that's how it's gonna end.
Or it could end in the classic, like, she just doesn't tell him he loves her and then he remains cursed, and then there's another book where she has to go in through Phantasma again to be like, no, I do love you. I made a mistake.
That would be a lot.
Here's the heart and key. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
No, I firmly believe that this book ends with him being released because they love each other. The end. So excited.
Guess we'll read and find out, huh?
Let's do it. All right, we're gonna finish this book and then come back here and see all of the answers to all of our questions, and hopefully that Blackwell and Ophelia are living happily ever after, and we know what Blackwell's real name is. Fingers crossed.
Hamlet. I'm just gonna call him Hamlet.
Hammy! We'll see you back here, guys. Bye!